Hey there. Welcome to another edition of Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. I'm DJ Impact here with Simon Street, Sin City, Steve, and Matt Michaels. All the Vegas Bad Boys is here. And this is our 3 count. And we want to shout out everyone who's watching us live. Always feel free. Throw those comments in the book, in the chat, in the chat messenger of Facebook Live, Twitch Live, and YouTube. So let your voice be heard. We'll make sure to get it in as we see fit. And if you just downloaded the podcast, this is Tuesday's episode. Thank you for downloading and taking a listen. So this is our 3 count. We got 3 good topics for you. So let's get right into it. It's time. Biggest Bad Boys of Podcasting present
1, 2, 3.
Count Talk.
Count Talk, baby.
All right, let's get with our first count.
1.
And this one is the top 10 of Pro Wrestling Illustrated Women's list for 2022 revealed from NoDQ.com. All right. This is where I may at some point, Sin City Steve needs your assistance because there's some names in here. I didn't get a chance to practice as I normally do, but let's see how I have done. All right, number 10, Taya Valkyrie, AAA. Okay. Starlight Kid from Stardom.
You got that one right.
All right. Number 8, Charlotte Flair, WWE. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Number 7, Saya Kamatani from Stardom.
Saya, but yeah.
Okay, Saya. All right.
Yeah. Good job.
Close.
Yeah. Number 6, Jordan Grace, Impact. Number 5, Jade Cargill, AEW. Look at Jade. Okay. Number 4, Becky Lynch, WWE. Number 3, Thunder Rosa, AEW. Oh, okay. Number 2, Bianca Belair, WWE. And number 1, Sayuri, Stardom. Kind of close. All right.
Siri.
Oh, Suri.
Yeah. Siri. Yeah.
I apologize.
Take out the S, and if you take out the S, it's Yuri. Just add an S in front of it.
Yeah.
Siri.
That's why you're on the show, bro.
Don't doubt yourself so much, bro.
You did good. Way better than when we first started.
Hey. All right. This is the top 10. Of course, we see these come out every year. This was your pick, Mr. Michaels. What's your take, man? You must agree with every last one of these numbers that was put down here, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially for Surya and Sarah Kamatara and Starlight Kid or who the fuck are these people? Stardom.
Let me ask you: do y'all think that they should? I mean, it sucks to think to not. You shouldn't put all aspects of wrestling promotions in there, but should Stardom really be added in this? If you're not like,
Yes.
Should it? Okay. Well, I mean, it goes to Michael's point saying that who he says, who the fuck are these people? And I think some may actually say that, right?
Well, majority of people will probably say that. I mean, it's only natural. So I don't disagree with Michaels. You know, I would just say a lot of people looking at this list wouldn't know. So unless you watch Stardom, you wouldn't know.
I mean, who in the States watch Stardom? I mean,
anybody who bought the app, whoever bought the app. I had the app for a couple of months.
Sin City, you're the one who watch all the stuff that's like underground wrestling. Do you even watch Stardom?
So I've watched a few. I've watched a few shows, but it's not anywhere near my must see weekly. Yeah, unfortunately not.
Michaels, I apologize, man.
Kick those 3 off the list. Period.
Okay,
they're gone because they don't figure into what we actually consume. All right. So then you've got a big fat number 5, which is like the new term for a hot smoking fat turd, and Jade Cargill as number 5. What the fuck? 50, maybe 60 at best. I don't know. Get her the fuck.
You did just use the word fat to describe Jade Cargill twice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course, because it's kind of like those movies where you see something, but it's not what you're supposed to be seeing, because she might look good, but goddamn, she sucks.
I
She
think
sucks.
I
She
think he
sucks.
meant it. He meant it as PHAT, Sin City.
Pretty
He was,
high and
he was
tempting.
using slang.
That's what she meant. Pretty high and tempting. Ah!
So yeah, I don't know.
Make her dress up like the She-Hulk and serve him a drink.
And then, so Thunder Rosa, really, if she's number 3, and that's really her value, then AEW has no fucking clue what they're doing with their women's division then. So get rid of her at number 3, maybe top 10. But Toni Storm, I could see. Thunder Rosa, no. I don't think there's any other woman in AEW that would be on this except for Toni Storm. Without her in that division right now, division shit. Britt Baker, yeah, she could talk, but unless she's getting her nose broken, she can't wrestle. So, it's the hardest thing about this. This is Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. They've been injured for a long time,
right?
So that's tough too. Personally, you'd put on like someone like Cora Jade, maybe, who's making a little impact that way. You gotta. It's criminal that Toxic Attraction is not on this list. That right there should be, Mandy at very least, who's, represented that fucking. Remember how bad she was? I think we forget that she was not a good wrestler at all.
She's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that got to count for something to go from the drizzling shits to something decent. And then you got your wild cards. Like last year, I think your girl Diana Probazaba, she should be one. She was on this list. She's not this year. And where's Chelsea Green? That's another one who's not on the big programs that's been making waves. So yeah, again, it's PWI, so doesn't matter.
Yeah. And for John, who made the comment, who watches Stardom? That's what WWE and AEW fans say about Impact. Just so you know, John, I was watching Raw this past Monday, and shockingly, a Impact commercial came on during Raw, which is something that I rarely ever see, advertising the channel that they come on. So for all people who own DirecTV, who maybe don't even think they have Impact, that commercial is a good chance. So, John, I'm expecting a 2.5% increase in viewership starting next week. I just thought I'd let you know that. I did all the work in my head just in that few seconds of reading that. All right. Sin City, Sin City, what's your take on this list?
So I think that, John actually just mentioned in the chat that something that I have to read out loud. The hard thing about both lists is that I think the time frame is from July of the previous year to June of the current year. By the time that the lists come out, you need to start thinking backwards. For instance, we haven't seen Becky since the end of July, so that's into the current list time frame. So realistically, though, I mean, you've got names like Charlotte Flair. Yes, Charlotte Flair has an amazing pedigree, an amazing career. But does she deserve to be in the top 10 list for 2022? No.
Right. Yeah.
And yes, I think that she's one of, if not the best women's wrestler on the planet right now. And has been for some time. But the thing is, she's been off TV for one reason or another until she comes back. Yeah, I can't have her in the top 10. The things that stand out to me, I'm not exactly a huge fan of how everything unfolded with her, but Liv Morgan is 17. She was the women's champion on SmackDown for quite a few months. She's in the top 20. Deonna Purrazzo is at 19.
I
Mandy
know.
Rose is at 21. I'll even throw this curveball out there. Camille, somebody who realistically we don't talk about a whole lot on here. She's been doing a whole hell of a lot, with NWA and with various other promotions. She's at 23. Toni Storm's at 25. So I think that
Rhea Ripley's at 42.
It's crazy, man. So this list is completely subjective. And keep in mind, like Michael's even said, it's a PWI list. It's a fucking worked list.
Can we also address the big fucking gapping thing? Ronda Rousey?
Yes. 18.
I don't know.
Rousey is 18.
Jade Cargill is better than Ronda Rousey this past year, apparently. So.
I mean, now here's the thing. If you're going to go based on record and stuff like that, then yeah, she could be maybe number 10 if you want to go that, if you want to play that angle up. I don't think that she's top 10. I have to say that. I don't think she's top 10.
She ain't top 20.
But the fact is, the record is what it is. I don't know why they put her at 5.
It's stupid.
She slotted in at 50 last year. She made
some major improvements to be in the top 10.
She ain't made no motherfucking improvements. She made wardrobe improvements. That's what she made in henchmen and lackeys.
Jesus.
Let me move right over to you, Simon Street. You agree with this list? Would you add it, take away?
This list is poppycock. Poppycock. And the reason why I'll say that is, come on, Jade Cargill. Yeah, she looked nice, dressed nice, walked nice, fit nice in a picture screen or in a thirst trap. She's a clickbait maybe, but she ain't better than Deonna Purrazzo. All the shit she done. She not even close to Miyako Satomura.
Exactly.
Come on, 451 days, UK women's title? Come on, man. This some bullshit, bro. I got to call some shit out. Come on, man. Rhea Ripley, she ain't had no titles, but she over there getting some shit. Come on. In 22, still lifting up big boys on the scoop slam.
Also,
come on.
I'm talking out of turn, but big shout out to Viva Van. FSW, FSW's own Viva Van is number 50 on the list. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in Vegas, you can see members of this top 50 list. Go see FSW shows. Go see indie wrestling. Support everyone on this list. Even if we're taking umbrage with where they're placing on this list, support indie wrestling.
And the only reason we haven't mentioned Lacey or Zoe Stark is because if you go by the logic of this list in terms of the time frame, she was injured pretty much the whole time. Yeah. So, but there's another one. How about Nikita?
Britt Baker. I mean, let's call it like it is. Britt Baker basically held for a good while in 22 AEW's women division on her back. No. I'm saying held it on her back. I'm gonna call it like it is, on her back, regardless of whoever. She stepped up. Did she not step out for a long time? Or sorry, step up.
I don't know, man. Listen,
she did a hell of a lot better than Jade Cargill.
Well, yeah. I mean, fucking goddamn, Carmella probably did a lot better than Jade Cargill. But the problem with Britt Baker is you get this Thunder Rosa dynamic between the two.
Yeah, that's true. I see your point.
And
one without the other.
Yeah, and then if you add the stuff backstage and the shit that has been reported over the year, it just becomes sticky, and it's like I don't know, man. But Toni Storm, on the other hand, has fucking stepped up. So
definitely,
they got Momo. You gotta say this one for me, Steve, because I have it up every time. She on where is Momo at? Momo is on where? So I was looking at this too. 39?
39, yeah.
She should be higher. She should be higher. Come on, man. I'm just saying, it seems very subjective, is what I'm saying. But yes, as I stated before, poppycock.
Roxanne Perez, 36.
Yeah.
All righty.
Poppy said, thank you, G Scoop. Poppycock mentioned drink.
All right, let's go.
Good article, man.
Into number 2. Cody Rhodes says he didn't leave AEW over issues with CM Punk. This is from Fightful.com, and it reads a little something like this. Cody Rhodes says there were no issues with CM Punk in AEW since Cody had left AEW in February and officially returned to WWE at WrestleMania 38. Many had commented and speculated about the reasons Cody decided to leave the company he helped start. Rhodes has stated many times that he would remain silent on his AEW departure and that he has nothing but respect for Kenny Omega, Matt and Nick Jackson, and Tony Khan. He stated that it was a personal decision that he wanted to win the WWE Championship, and Cody has offered more insight to his departure by once again saying that his decision to leave had nothing to do with Omega and the Young Bucks, and now saying that it had nothing to do with CM Punk, which fans speculated and theorized. Punk had made his issues. Well, let me read this because I thought maybe they were going to read it in the article, but it says here in the tweet, Cody had someone had responded. Then why did Cody leave? Then Cody responded, I didn't leave because of the Bucks or Kenny. I forever bonded to those men over what we created, and I remain very proud of that. And I didn't leave because of or have issues with Punk. We got along. And not money, not booking, just a personal issue with my wanting to go for the big one. End quote. That was the tweet there. Back to the story, it says Punk made his issues with Omega and the Bucks clear during his AEW all-out post-show media scrum, airing his grievances with Executive Vice President and how they managed things. And the media scrum paved way to an altercation that left Punk and the Elite suspended while Ace Steel was fired. And according to a new report, Punk has been, quote, voted out, end quote, of AEW, with many stars unwilling to work with him. Meanwhile, a vignette featuring the Elite aired on Wednesday's AEW Dynamite. And that's pretty much it for that. All right, so let's go back here. Sin City Steve, this was your article. What's your take, man? You believe that Cody Rhodes didn't have any issues with Mr. CM Punk?
So I think that this puts that issue to rest. A lot of people had, taken to Twitter and everywhere else on the internet to speculate as if they knew exactly what was going on, that, it was because of the Bucks and Kenny, or maybe it was because of Punk. One thing that I find pretty interesting is that there's one name that we really didn't see him mention in that tweet. And kind of starts up at the top, I think. And there we go. John actually mentioned it in the chat. Plain and simple. Cody's issues were with TK. Once TK started taking control of all aspects of the company, that started the snow globe that's been AEW the last year. I think that, it's really easy to sit here and point a finger and say that it was this or that. Like it or not, there was a stipulation early on with Cody that if he lost a particular match, that he could never challenge for the AEW World Championship again. And right then and there, that essentially just put the roadblock onto him really doing too much of anything in the world title picture. So we knew that Cody had wanted to hold the world championship. He made that known. So when that stipulation happened and everything went down, a lot of people's eyebrows kind of perked up. So I definitely think that he's being upfront with him wanting to go to WWE to get the championship that his father never did. And I'm sure that he may have had an issue or two with TK. If he chooses to bring those issues out to the light of day, then we'll find that out. But if nothing else, this provides some closure to Cody's leaving AEW.
Simon Street, wasn't there at some point there was some talks about Cody Rhodes kind of feeling like, out of the bunch between Omega and the Young Bucks, having TK's ear where he kind of, lost that ear compared to the other two guys. Should we really believe that maybe we're hearing them say there was no issue with Punk in that same conversation, he was saying there's no issues with Omega and the Young Bucks. They're all brothers. Is he just pretty much just being a good PR guy, or do you think maybe there is really something there, but he's just really not trying to make anything big out of it?
I think that he's playing nice in the sandbox, and I think when you play nice in the sandbox, it's important to do that at times because it's business is like it's a card game. You got to hold your hand close, and you can't reveal too much. There will be a right time when he's going to fully disclose how he really feels about TK. The only thing I can do is speculate, and for what I can ascertain. If I were to play devil's advocate, I would say that, okay, if you grew up in this business, which Cody Rhodes has grown up in this business, and he has always been a person that I think observed a lot and took a lot mentally, right? TK didn't grow up in this business, okay? Not taking nothing away from Omega and the Bucks and what they've learned along the way as well. So let's just take all those guys. I think for a long time in the beginning of AEW, I would say, my opinion, that TK really did listen to a lot of what Cody was saying. But I think Cody wanted to play the safe route and establish a stronger foundation for AEW. And I think he did that at first. And then I think TK, in my opinion, again, that he wanted to fast track that, whether or not he had TNT in the ear or Turner or whatever it is in his ear or whatnot. And I think that's where things kind of split. That's just my take. To answer your question, I think that there was some truth to that. But I think Cody, like I said, he's in a good place right now. He's in a place to where when he comes back from injury, I think that he was honest and sincere when he said, look, I want to be able to capture something I wasn't able to do. And legacy is important to the Rhodes. It's very, very important to them. And I think for him to do this, I mean, we already saw when he came back to WWE, I think all of us were emotional when we saw him come back. And so to see what's going to happen unfold when he comes back from injury makes this statement that he made to be very true. And kudos for him for being a professional at the end of the day.
Yeah, Matt Michaels, I mean, some would say, Cody has definitely had some tenure in being in the wrestling business, being in the back rooms of WWE for some time and a lot of other promotions. Sometimes you can kind of see things happening and, you're trying to do your best to maybe remove yourself from something that could be about to see start happening. And you don't, you want to kind of not be a part of that. Maybe there's a possibility, who's saying that he saw where this was kind of going with CM Punk. Maybe some words got around or something about his issues that he had with the EVPs that was hearing, and probably saw maybe some things are going to get out of hand and said, you know what, maybe it's just time for me to bounce. What's your thought about that? You think maybe he kind of saw something, or this was just clearly the idea of, look, I really don't have any issue. I just really want to capture WWE Gold, and that's it.
I don't know. Show me what his offer was from Tony Khan. Let's get down to it. What was Tony offering him? We don't know that. We don't know if he still had an executive role. We also know that Brandy was not re-signed at that time either. So, this was a thought out decision. I have to say, we got to stop bringing up, well, he put himself in a position where he can't wrestle for the world title. Bullshit. It's wrestling.
Yeah, they can change that with a stipulation.
Blow the shit out, man. I mean, and again, it's wrestling. This is the company that said records matter. And as we've pointed out, Matt Taven challenged for a championship night one. So,
hey, at least they're a lot better at records than WCW was with that Goldberg bullshit. Was it like 65-1? He only wrestled like 40 matches.
Let's nix that because we got Cartgal doing the same fucking thing. So
basically, yeah, you're right.
So, but no, the honest truth is that you remember Cody Rhodes started AEW with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. They started the fucking thing.
Yeah, sure did.
And Tony Khan, at some point, his ego got really inflated by someone because remember, it wasn't Tony Khan who got the fucking TNT deal. It was Cody. And how do we know this? Because Cody had 2 other fucking shows he was a part of on TNT.
Yeah, it's true.
So they wanted Cody Rhodes. And that's that. So you know what? He's in the perfect way of saying all these things to just basically say, hey man, I had no problems with anything. I just decided to go this way, and that's that. Everyone's trying to start something. So he doesn't, he doesn't need that.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm sorry, I got triggered when I heard
Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you can't say that.
Fucking Halloween weekend. Why don't you?
Are you gonna start dancing on coffins as a wolfman? Like
really?
Santana?
All right, y'all. We'll go right over. Oh, look at the comments just popping in. Look at this guy. All right. So let's go right over into our count 3. Unless, did you guys want to consider what John just said? Is John also rocker?
Coincidence is a good word.
It's a very good coincidence. Yes.
No doubt. All right. So let's go over into count 3. Bailey on WWE adding a secondary women's championship. And this is from CageSideSeats.com. And this is how that reads. It says that earlier this month, Raquel Rodriguez was publicly campaigning for WWE to introduce a secondary women's championship, going so far as to say it could be happening, and it could be happening sooner rather than later. And there's nothing from the company to indicate that could be the case, but it's a new landscape with Triple H in charge of creative. Now, the woman who is next to challenge the Raw Women's Championship, Bailey, was asked by Sportskeeda about the possibility of the promotion adding a secondary title, and had this to say, quote, I mean, it wouldn't hurt. It would be nice to have another title, but I think it's just going to take time. You know, when we wanted those women tag team titles, it took a long time, and it took someone actually fighting for them. So if that's what we want, someone has to stand up for it and really fight for it and prove that it's going to be a benefit to the division, end quote. The women got a lot more time on WWE television than they used to, but do they get enough to support another title? Sasha Banks and Naomi left in part because the tag team titles weren't getting the proper treatment. And would things be any different with the new leadership with another title thrown in? All right. So Simon Street, this is your article, man. What's your take on Bailey agreeing maybe a secondary women's championship could come about if someone put the work in?
I think the response that she said was safe. You know, every so often these things come up, whether it's men's or women. And I think the last time this came up, if I recall, was like 2016. They were kind of throwing some ideas around. Or at least rumors, let me put it this way. I like how she stated 2 things. Number one, she stated, with the tag titles, how long that took. I know before the whole Sasha and Naomi walkout, there was some murmurings about how much work that was put in, and her just basically confirming that the reason why they did walk out officially was because of the belts, not so much them, just the belts, not getting enough love. But she's right. I think it'd be great if you could add another one. Me personally, I feel like if the women of WWE's roster had their own show, maybe they could have something like that. I don't know.
Just out of curiosity, what type of title?
I was thinking along the lines if they had like their own show, something like a TBS women's title, dare I say, something like that. But it'd have to have their own show. I wouldn't think it'd be safe. It would have to be a television type of title. It can't be like, you get what I'm saying? You already have a SmackDown women's title, a Raw women's title, and then you have tag titles. And you have probably, I would say, on the roster actively, probably a little bit more than a dozen active women on the roster, a little bit more, you know what I mean? So it's not a lot of, they're getting more time like she stated, but it's still not a lot. So the reason why I wanted to kind of open up this article is because, there's a lot of people that do see a future in women's wrestling. Do you think that the future is adding another title or waiting for more quality to be added to your roster? I think it's the big question that I want to see what you guys thought about.
Well, look, while they think about that, let me throw a question right quick over to Matt Michaels. I know automatically you're like, fuck that. There don't need to be no more titles. On the other hand, Bayley didn't necessarily knock it down. Do you think she's just doing the great PR thing that you do when you're on radio or camera? Or do you think maybe she really do think it could be an advantage of if they work hard to get another titles going?
You got to understand, Bayley was a big fan of Macho Man and Eddie Guerrero. And what do those guys have in common? The Intercontinental title. And the Intercontinental title is an example of an intermediate belt. So it's not unheard of. It's not unthinkable. It's TV time though, and what you have to slot in. So it's a bigger thing than just hey, should we put more belts in or whatever that idea is. Listen, they have a 24/7 title that literally changes hands at house shows, but never shows up on TV. So Nikki Cross won that title yesterday and then lost it to Tamina, who lost it back to the champion, who we don't even remember she's on the fucking show.
That's true.
So, I mean, that just shows you, how titles can go wrong. I got a solution. You take one tag belt, you take the other tag belt, you put each on separate shows, and just call one a US and one an Intercontinental, and that's it. No more tag belts, and just two separate on SmackDown or Raw. There you go.
All right.
Good job, Michaels. Way to save the world.
Saves money too.
Yeah.
Now, since
just redo the plates. That's all.
You watch a show that's got many of titles. You
gotta be low blowing AEW, man.
That's all he does, man.
No, I'm just.
Yes, you are. Hey, you know what the sad thing is?
I really should start watching Impact so that I can just come in here and talk shit about Impact, just so that I can needle him.
Hold on. Time out. You know what's so messed up, Sin City? He over here badmouthing AEW. Impact is part of the AEW family. Did he forget that shit?
All I said, what was wrong with the statement that the question I asked?
It's not today, brother. It's not today. It's many
passive
other
aggressive
Sundays.
to the max, man.
Steve, yet you forget that AEW has held more Impact titles within the last 2 years than Impact Wrestling.
Oh, I'm well aware. Yeah.
Oh my God. All right, Sissy. What's your take on this article?
So my thing is this, if you really want to bring in another women's title, you need to develop the slot on the show for the women. You need to have more of a women's presence before you institute another title. You don't institute a title and then build a division around that title. We have already seen how that can fail miserably in other promotions. So I'm not opposed to it, but as long as what truly matters is the order of precedence that women's wrestling is going to have on WWE programming. If they want to run more than one program involving women at a time, then okay. But seemingly, if you watch a WWE show, there's one women's storyline, and that involves the two women involved in that women's championship match, and that's it. Mm-hmm. There's no other presence of women's wrestling on that show. So I think that it's a chicken and the egg kind of a thing, but I think that you need to start putting more of an emphasis on women's wrestling with storylines and enthralling storylines, not just, oh yeah, she hates her, blah, 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 but actually work on legit storylines and then talk about bringing in another women's title if the demand shows that it's there.
Can we pull up John's again real quick? No.
This is a new one. John is really at it. Thank you, John, for being
killing it.
Yeah. That first one was fire, though. I wish we could pull it back. Yes, pull that one up. John, you're 120% correct because there's a huge goddamn gap. like we in a foreign third world country, and there's the rich and there's the extremely poor in quality of wrestling. We have upper echelon, and you said Charlotte, Becky, Bianca, Bailey, Asuka, Sasha, and then you have people like Carmella, Dana Brooke. There's some other people, Morgan, that's in between both of those, and that's part of the problem too, because it's like, dude, should Carmella have the belt again? Hell no. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what you're missing on this though is a simple fact, and that is that when you've got, let's say, Charlotte against Becky, right? Mm-hmm. And then you've got Charlotte against Bailey, and then you got Charlotte against Ronda, who once again was not mentioned, by the way. Ronda. All right. So what happens? Oh, well, they don't give anyone else a shot. Then you put a belt on Liv Morgan, and it's like, well, she doesn't deserve this. She's horrible.
No, you're exactly right. But you know what sucks about Liv Morgan? I wish she had the belt on her right now, because she deserved to have the belt on her if we go back in time now more than when she got the damn belt in the first place.
But what then would be a solution to her not having the belt now? An Intercontinental or a US type title is exactly what we're talking about. It's a person like Liv Morgan. It's a person like Rhea Ripley. It's a person like Shayna Baszler. Oh, we want to see badass Shayna. Well, she's not going to be badass Shayna at the top of her game amongst Charlotte and fucking Becky. And see, that's the thing.
You're right. No.
It's not just top tier, bottom tier. There is a huge middle tier that we just kind of forget. It's actually the middle tier, and that's
called NXT.
Well, NXT is a different story, because NXT on its own is a whole different thing, because all those people are eventually feeding in. Yep. Right? We didn't bring up Io. We didn't bring up what's her face? The other one on
Dakota Kai.
Right? Yeah. Think of those people. You just got Emma back, if she's going to stay around, right? So you have all these people. The one thing they don't have anymore, now Carmella's off TV, but Carmella is not as bad as an Eva Marie, right? Why was Paige a standout? Because look at the fucking absolute horseshit she was wrestling against. Paige was fucking elevated because the people around her were dog shit. The Bellas were the only things close, and they were not close to being seasoned.
And they didn't get better until they married into the business, or
boob jobs.
That too,
or at least one boob job.
You know what they should call a title like that? They should have called it the bridesmaid title. Like you know how the phrase goes, always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Simple solution, dude. The Divas title. Bring
it back.
Retirement. Have a Divas title.
I think Paige still has that title. I think Saraya still has that title. They have to clean it though. Deep clean it a little bit. I think there might be some stuff on there.
Bring back the butterfly belt. I'm 100% behind the butterfly belt.
But you know what sucks about that? I'm gonna be real with you. You know what sucks about that? You know who really I felt made that title way better than what it was when Beth Phoenix had that title. I was just like, man. But then they start having the women's title though, right? Right around that time, like.
No, it wasn't.
No. It came afterwards. You're right. It came after.
Yeah. Beth retired before that, but the whole thing. Yeah, Candice LeRae would be a great mid carder. Jesus Christ, fuck John, you're just making us work this panel all night. Thank you.
Hey, get it, John. Go and get it. He's dropping pearls. I'm telling you.
I mean, Candice LeRae, there's a great example. So once again, remember, the whole thing that people get so pissed off about is they're not utilizing this person in the right way. But when you have, hundreds of moving parts, that's the thing you have to be able to do. And if you're a person like Becky, she got lucky, man. If her nose wouldn't gotten smashed, she wouldn't have had a fucking thing to go off of. Yeah. But she delivered on the opportunity. And that's the thing.
I will agree with you on that last part. It was solidified because before that, and we did talk about it on the show, before she had the infamous nose broken, she was doing a lot of podcasts where she was kind of coming out of left field with a lot of these promos, these in-character promos, talking about she never got a chance. And I think that's when that finally Nia broke her damn nose, that just made everything set her apart. Because she was going pretty hot in the paint with a lot of those shows she was doing and stuff. So, but yeah, bridesmaid title.
All right.
That was very loud.
Yeah. We're working on making it louder. All right, y'all. Great show. 3 count. As always, we appreciate all of you hanging out with us.
John, don't be sorry. Do it every day, every Sunday.
That's right.
Love you, man.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Hey, you also can get your comments on there. You just gotta look. We see you watching, so just type something in, something that's nice and not stupid and ridiculous. Just according to whatever we're talking about. We want to go ahead and throw it up and have discussions around that. We'll do this again next week. It's good to see everybody who joined us tonight, and again, it's good to see all of the bad boys here as well. All right, so we're gonna get down to our final thoughts for the week. I'm gonna start off with you, Simon Street. What do you want to tell everybody?
Well, guys, no matter where you are, we're getting into the colder months. Some of you guys are getting into the nicer months, and it's that time of year. Holidays are coming around. Try to do your best to kind of see what's out there in your community and ways that you can help out. There's a lot of people who are less fortunate than us. Holidays can be the hardest for some people, and try and extend some of that goodness and positivity as best you can. Also, too, guys, I'm just going to be real with you. It's important for you to have your opinion. It's important for you to have your beliefs. That's who you are. It makes you a person. But when you take that to a violent, extreme level, you lose focus on what you're passionate about, and the focus will always be on your violence. So don't turn the tide of violence. Just, if you believe in something, find an appropriate way for your voice to be heard, and eventually one day it will echo where it needs to echo.
All right, good stuff, man. Sin City Steve.
All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for all of the great chats. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, doing all the stuff that you guys do. We appreciate each and every single one of you. So thank you. Very special shout out, very special thank you to all the brave men and women serving this country, whether you're doing it on lands foreign or domestic. Thank you for doing what you do so that we can do what we love to do. And last but not least, repsports.com, reppsports.com. Go there for all your pre-workout, weight loss, and general energy needs. Again, that's repsports.com. Use promo code Vegas at checkout and save yourself 15%.
Perfect. Matt Michaels.
Good night, everybody.
All right. That is it, y'all. Until next week, we'll do it all over again. All right. Happy wrestling.